An image from the old world. Looks like some kind of building in front of sheer cliffs. The image is incomplete. But maybe if I line it up exactly with where it was taken, my focus can fill in the rest. This doesn't look right. Better try another spot. Lines up a bridge. Maybe it's the same one from the image. I could try to line it up around here. I'm almost there. There it is! Oh. Completing the image unlocked a data file. It looks like these vista points were made by Miriam Technologies. That was Elizabeth's company. I wonder if I can find more of them out in the wild. Find this in my stash later.
Thank the Forge you were here.
Get inside until it's safe.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Be welcome, Outlander. Look, I found them shards fair and square.
These bristlebacks are everywhere. I can get it from my stash later. Sounds like someone's putting up a fight.
what I was forged for. No ledgers to fill. No boring mid-afternoon patrols. Just a hammer. Just the fight. Aloy?
Aaron! Stay where you are. I'll handle the rest. Those bristlebacks have acid canisters on. It should trigger a chain reaction if I hit them with acid arrows. Shotgun. I bet I could drop those logs on the machines. If I can get them under. Gemstone. It's green like blaze, but it's hard and shiny. Wonder if merchants would be interested.
Halfway. Caught me at my best, as usual.
Well, you did the hard part. I just took care of the stragglers. How bad is it?
Who needs ribs, huh? Oh. I'm good, I'm good. Huh. Okay, well, I know you didn't come all the way to the Daunt just to watch me get wrecked. So what's the story?
I need the embassy to happen, so I can head west. Erend, what I did at the Spire... what we did... it didn't end the threat. It just slowed it down. There's still more to do.
Really? Well, that's great. I mean, yeah, not the threat's not over part. That's not so great. But hey, whatever you're up against, your spear, my hammer, just like old times.
Erend, I need the embassy now. I can't wait for you to heal.
Couple of days rest, if that.
Actually, even if you weren't hurt, what I have to do, it's better if I do it alone.
Alone? Now that figures.
Erend! I hate to interrupt the romance, but I'm pretty banged up here.
Don't blow your blaze, I'm coming. Oh, this just keeps getting better. Huh. Listen, I'll go to Barren Light, get patched up. If you want this embassy to happen, we're gonna need this sun priest, Studius Wadis.
Oh, I know him. I'll clear the Valley of Bristlebacks, then send Wadis to Barren Light. I'll catch up with you there.
Well, I guess that's sort of like a goodbye.
I'm sorry?
You? Sorry? Ugh. Yeah, that'd be a first.
Where is this coming from?
Hey, just, forget it, yeah? Ugh. It's nothing.
It sounds like something.
All right, fine. Now, after the Battle of the Spire, you took off. You left without so much as a handshake. I mean, people like me, we fought and bled at your side, Aloy. You just disappear? What kind of person does that?
Erend, I left when I did, how I did, for a reason. A good one.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing.
Listen to me. Life on Earth is in danger, and only I can save it.
What are you talking about?
Exactly what I just said. Everything living is going to die unless I fix a piece of technology created by the old ones. And time's running out.
Well, I guess that's the reason, all right. I'm an idiot.
Erend! By the Forge.
I guess that's my cue.
Maybe I should go with you to Barren Light.
No, hey, you're needed elsewhere, obviously. We'll make it without you.
That doesn't sound good.
You'll have to handle that one on your own. We'll only slow you down. I said we're good, Aloy. Oh, ha. You go on ahead.
What are you standing around for then? Help me off this thing. Is she just gonna stand there all day?
Don't make me hammer your teeth out, Alder.
Just go, Aloy. We'll be fine.
pack's full, but my stash has room. Exploring cauldrons might teach me how to override these things. stash this away for later. There's the quarry Thurles mentioned. One less machine. Incoming. We also decided to go out, right? One less machine. Another one down. There. Quarry's safe.
Stranger, come on over here. We gotta talk. Come here, kid. I want to talk to you. Stranger, come on over here. We gotta talk. I don't know what Honora's doing out here, but consider yourself owed. We tried to hold off and wait for the Vanguard, but one of them bristlebacks charged us. Next thing you know was a full-fledged fracas.
Is everyone okay?
We lost some good people, but we would have lost the whole quarry without you.
Well, at least it's quiet now.
Your ears ought to be ringing with a quarry at work, but Chain Scrape's whistle ain't blowing, so we're stuck picking up the pieces.
You need the whistle to get back to work?
Me and my crew were just little cogs out here. Can't lift a hammer till Olvin blows that thing. Cause if we work without his say-so, he'll ban us. And my people have been through enough.
Olvin holds that much power?
He's got the money and connections to snuff our fires for good. Almost feels like we stood a better chance with the bristlebacks.
What are you and your crew working on?
We're supposed to be working Olvin's claim, digging out stone to show our barren light. But the work stoppage and the bristlebacks cut us short. Never seen those blasted things in a dawn before. Where in Forge Fire did they come from?
I'm not sure. At least not yet. I need to get going. Stay safe.
Thanks to you, that might actually be possible today.
I think I've cleared out most of the bristlebacks. Chain Scrape can get back to work now. I'll go give Olvin the good news. Whaties too. Then maybe this embassy can finally happen. Start for the stash. I'll fill up while I can. Time to get Ulvin to blow the whistle, then Wadis to bear light.
If you need any help, I should be on.
That's what you said last time.
Watch as I walk in a straightish line. Congratulations to you, and lovely sister.
Woohoo! Run like it's last orders at the bar.
I am heading to the bar.
Thought Norris stayed in their sacred land.
Hi, Dad!
Now excuse me, and do not darken my path again.
Guess we owe you thanks for clearing out them machines, so... thanks.
Whoa, you're getting fast.
Are you a sight for sore eyes?
What's your problem?
Red hair's on the
You
steak
oblivious?
board. She's the one that gave those bristlebacks orders. Ah, finally.
The way to Barren Light is clear. Get moving.
You're not errant vanguardsman. I will move only when the captain
When I've
says...
cleared out all the bristlebacks, which I have. Captain's orders.
So they're okay?
Banged up, but breathing. And waiting up ahead for you.
Well, I shall not be moving anywhere until the whistle has sounded. If it is not safe for them, then it is not safe for me.
Fine. I'll make sure the whistle gets blown, and then I'll be back.
Hear that? We're not leaving yet. Unpack the cart!
No. I'll be right back. Don't get comfortable.
As if that were possible here.
Guess I better talk to Olvin to get that whistle blown.
I didn't realize I was invisible.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, I did. Don't pull that face. It's hammer strike.
Yes. Something else?
What is this concession decree that Olvin wants?
He wants the Sundom to designate portions of the Daunt as Oseram holdings. Only the portions, mind you, that produce any value.
Let me guess. Because he stands to profit somehow?
Exactly. With the Daunt under Oseram law, he could secure more investment for their numerous ventures.
He can't get those investments without the concession?
No. Not while there's a chance the Sundom could revoke their access. Hence, why the concession is so important to him. And why blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks, no matter how absurd, works in his favor.
How did you get stuck out here?
I asked for the posting, believe it or not. Overseeing the entire valley on behalf of the Sun King? It was an honor. Is an honor, I mean.
But your job would be a lot easier without someone like Ulvin blasting hot air all the time?
Ulvin's not going anywhere. He's been around longer than I have. Even fancies himself the founder of Chainscrape. Well, I'll find a way to live with him. I have to.
How does blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks help Ulvin get his concession?
Look around. This may be the Sundom, but Chainscrape is all gears and rust and bad ale. Claiming that the Karja loosed the bristlebacks in order to intimidate Oseram laborers into obedience. Well, Let's just say no one here has forgotten the atrocities of the Mad Sun King. And with the bristlebacks bringing work in the valley to a halt, Ulvund has plenty of time to pick at barely healed wounds.
And if the Oseram refuse to work, unless the concession is signed, you won't have a choice.
Correct. The reconstruction of Barren Light must continue.
I need to go.
Of course.
I could take her.
Come on, you love. Fight like you mean it.
Still here, I see.
You don't seem to have a high opinion.
Well, I refuse to play nice to some fancy-robed parchment pusher when my fellow laborers are being bullied, intimidated, and taken advantage of.
How noble of you.
Noble? Ha! Born with a hammer in hand, I was. Nobody handed me anything or dropped opportunity into my lap. Everything I've achieved, I've done on my own.
And where is this hammer now?
The, burden of leadership forced me to set it aside. The Carja risk nothing, while demanding that good Oseram gamble with their lives out there. Someone had to step up and say no more.
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. We're laborers, not soldiers. Until the Carja clean up their mess and give us the fair deal we deserve, I'm not risking Oseram lives.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good Oseram laborers of this land who do all the back-breaking work, while only the Carja reap the rewards. All we're asking for is the ability to share in this prosperity for a land worked by the people, for the people.
Right. And just how much would be your share?
Only an amount appropriate to my contributions to this community, of course.
If Chainscrape is on Carja land, shouldn't a Carja be in charge? Who appointed you?
The sensibilities of good Oseram folk, of course. You think a Carja can head this whole venture? Ah! The magistrate can barely make the trek from Barren Light without losing a few screws.
So you have no real authority then? People only follow you because you say so. Loudly.
Anyone who has followers has authority. I've been with Chainscrape from the beginning. I mean, I'm practically its founder, and its honest folk know I'm indispensable to its success.
You said you founded Chainscrape. Somehow I doubt that.
Practically founded, I said. I alone saw its potential when it was just a smattering of tents in Barren Light's shadow. I invested in the mine, convinced some friends back home to do the same, and here we are. You could say Chainscrape is what it is thanks to me.
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
Not at all. Sure, I make a little return on my investment here and there, but my main priority, as it was from the beginning, is to look after the well-being of these honest, working Oseram.
I cleared out all the bristlebacks.
Oh, you did?
Now that you've recovered from your shock, time to blow the whistle.
Oh, there, not so fast. I'll have to send someone out to confirm the kills. Make sure the valley is safe again. It shouldn't take more than a day. Or two.
No. You blow the whistle now.
These are innocent Oseram lives we're talking about here. Surely the delay...
Either you do it now, or I will.
Ah, I knew you could do it! Friends, gather around. The savior of Meridian has done it again.
What?
The Bristlebacks are defeated! You.
What?
Sound the whistle. Chain Scrape is open for business!
Terrific. Yay.
And Ulvund has agreed to personally pay every worker their lost wages.
Yeah!
That's more like it!
Yeah!
Woo!
Ha-ha!
Yeah! Yeah!
Don't you have an embassy to get to?
Yeah, I guess I do.
Ignoring me again? How's your mother doing? Hope she's better.
Well, the chain scrape's back to work. Merchants should be open to trade. I should see if they have anything useful before I send Wadis off to Barren Light.
Brought out only the good stuff for you, Red. Seeing as you got that whistle blowing.
Hey, I've been waiting to get my lucky hammer fixed for days.
You haven't done anything useful like getting rid of any bristlebacks, though, have you? Take your time. I promise you won't be disappointed. Come back anytime.
Now can I get this fixed?
I can fix your tools. Afraid there's no fixing you.
Stealth, power. What will you choose?
Maybe finally someone who will outdrink me, huh?
I know you see me.
Watch where you're going. Look at her go.
Remedy's the train. Watch where you go.
Count.
Be welcome, Outlander. Be welcome, Outlander.
I can get data to override machines from cauldrons. Just need to find one.
Spotted.
Save this for when I need it. just what I need. Been made. There's no crunch under my boots. I can grab this from my stash later. It's about to get loud. There's an old watchtower at the top of that cliff. I wonder if there's anything still inside. Looks like the path out broke a long time ago. I'm gonna have to climb. There we go. Made it. And there's another one of those devices. A lens. Guess I'll figure out what to do with it later. Can't ignore that machine. But I could learn there's a cauldron here.
Come back. Your shards are always welcome.
Always good to have extra. Looks like a ruins now. Scary rats. Ready for anything now. I should dismount. I'll leave you here.
Be welcome, Outlander.
Of course you got a trap.
I don't know what room hammers metal doing in the forge.
Time that whistle blew.
You heard the whistle. Time to go.
But I was supposed to have 3 escorts.
I'm off to Barren Light, Wadis. Like Aloy said, Captain's orders. You can stay here.
Abandoned to the riffraff? I think not.
Guess you're coming with me then. See you there, Aloy.
Well, now that that's done, the embassy can finally get underway. If I can get through it, I'll be able to track down Silence. Hades. Maybe even a Gaia backup. Guess I could head straight Barren Light. Or poke around the Daunt some more first. And maybe take Petra up on that drink.
Easy there, Red.
Back for that free...
Some of that for me. I'll take whatever you
Are you a sight for sore eyes?
Aloy. Come for that beer after all, eh? Here, sit down. Get a pint in her hand. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
Ha! There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Fire and spit.
That's a blast from the bellows. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Well, things aren't as bad since you got this place running again. But we still got Olvin grating the gears about his concession decree. If you don't put that down, I'll come over there and show you how that game ends. Anyway, right now, I'm just worried about those refugees out from Sunfall. To come all this way enduring Forge knows what.
Shadow Carja refugees. What are they doing in the Daunt?
Looking for a new home, I gather. They're camped out by an old trailhead, southwest of here. And therein lies the problem. A Stormbird crashed up on the cliffs last week, and Talon Cleanbrokers had his eye on the salvage ever since. But the refugees have barred entrance. Mustn't interrupt their sun-scorched ritual. Something about finding a twilight path.
Huh. I never heard them talk about that before.
Yeah, well, these particular Shadow Carja are an odd bunch. But overall, they're peaceful folk. Not that it matters to Talon. He'll crack some heads to get to that salvage. Maybe you could swing by, convince him to set up camp somewhere else?
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, I went back. But realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
What else can you tell me about the Shadow Carja refugees?
Well, they don't call themselves Shadow Carja for one. At least, not anymore. They're some other brand of sun-crazed. But whatever side of the sun they're on, they're peaceful through and through. Don't seem to want for nothing except a place to live, pray, and just enough food to keep from starving.
So they're just camped outside by a trail, blocking entry to a wrecked Stormbird, waiting for what, exactly?
Don't rightly know, but I'll tell you this. Should they ever wise up and salvage it, A Stormbird heart is worth a lot. And if they get there first, then by Ostrom law, it's theirs. Not that Tolan Cleanbrokers ever lost sleep over any law-breaking.
Who is this Tolland Cleanbroker?
Just some chuff-huffing pondsman. Got a shop here in town. Lived in Chainscrape since there was a Chainscrape. He and Ulvin go back a ways. Like a pair of coals and a campfire, those two.
So Tolland works for Ulvin?
Ha! Ulvin might think so, but Tolland scrapes up his own scams. And he ain't the type to let a few refugees get between him and Stormbird salvage.
So about Ulvin.
Around here, everything's about Ulvin.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early. He knew rebuilding, so getting thing in, and that's why he's desperate for them.
So the Where did they come from?
That's the thing. They just showed up, lost some good, but that put a Now,
But how could
2 words. Ulvin has he's hoping to dig resentments. This is just his latest. He's been trying to rile up.
And people actually believe him?
Lots of folks suffer. Give him half a reason.
Damn Clarges.
This concession decree, what is it exactly? And how...
It's
a writ that would, even though they're on, it would mean that stone and no more risk in the shop. And since it would make him, not to mention, so he could, he's a sly old badger. I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
Well, if I'm up that way, I'll talk to the refugees. Try to convince them to move.
Much appreciated. They have it rough. Don't need Tolland making it rougher.
Petra said Tolland has a shop here in Chainscrape. I could have a word with him first. I was just...
Well, I got an extra set. A Tanakh original straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something... All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth... To win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying... It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them. You see that number on the top right corner? That there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine. Notes also tell you how far a piece can move, how powerful their attacks are, the distance they can strike from, and of course, their health. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just play. I own the board, so since this is your first, usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board, but pick up that machine piece to your... And remember, each machine can only move a certain distance. Take a look at your notes if you need a reminder. Just need to, move that machine forward, Red. Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each round. Perfect. There's not much else to do for now, so you have to end your turn there, Red. We still got a lot of ground to cover. We're forging onward. And we're back to you. Try with that machine on your right first. Now move the piece close. When performing an attack, you'll be testing your machine's combat power against the opponent's. A machine and its own attack power. This board only has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power. And your current machine has 2 points of attack power. So in total, your machine's combat power equals 2 points. Since my machine isn't the one attacking, it has 0 points of attack power. And just like your machine, it's not affected by grassland terrain. So right now, The difference in combat power between the two machines is 2 points. This means your machine can do Did you get all that? Knew you were a smart one. Finish up by attacking my Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. That lets it move one space further. Try sprinting up to one of my machines. Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points. So use at your own discretion. Let's try doing that now. That's about it for your turn, then. Now, I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces. Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there, and you'll do some damage, but not a lot. Now, red shows the machine's weak points. Hit those, and you'll deal a mighty blow. Here, let me show you. Rotate that piece so your machine faces mine. Now let that machine have it. Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But if you overcharge your machine, you can attack a second time. And by the look of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat mine. But sometimes that can be a good thing. Overcharge your machine to attack mine a second time, and I'll show you what I mean. Why not attack my machine while you got the chance? Come on then, Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 That's why sometimes losing it now. You'll notice but you did. That means that wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember to. You'd be surprised. I know it saved my behind.
I'll try.
Oh, these are all my spare pieces. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces that can turn a game in your favor, though they'll need the right materials to craft you one. Or you might find them in the wilds if you're lucky. You know, I've lost my fair share of pieces after a night of machine hunting or brew hopping. No need to thank me. Always a pleasure to help out new strike players. Now, if you feel like playing a real, I could even teach you a few more tricks.
Thanks.
I'll see you later, Aloy.
Give it a rest, would you?
Even the savior of Meridian needs a challenge. Play some Strike.
Just give me the whole thing.
It's a Tanakh game, but any tribe can enjoy it. No one wants to play Strike. No? Anyone? Hey, Ray. Fancy a game of Strike?
Let me talk to your boss. I left him with the bristleback that almost bit my arm off on the way in. Always looks so grumpy.
No one wants to play Strike.
To the plane!
No?
For the brewmaster.
Anyone?
You're as red as a Karja priest, and why is that, huh?
Give it a rest,
Even the
would you?
savior of Meridian needs a challenge. Play some Strike.
Or did you?
No, I saw. You're out. I'll have your back. I else would want the glory of man. Boredom. Nothing interesting happens to claim.
Had enough of the wilds. I
need the plane.
to sit down for a game of Strike.
Miss. Better than sticking around a bunch of elders with lots of smart. There's a hair in my stew. Don't let Petra hear you say that. She'll hammer your head on your back. Glad to see you change your mind. Drinks on me. Ah, not you again. Who's in charge now?
It's a Tanakh game, but any tribe can enjoy it.
He's about as much use as a glass hand. Walked it off, huh? No, we all know who did that.
Hey, that's my sister.
Hey, Ray. Fancy a game of Strike?
Ah, finally.
Not again.
Hey, Ray. Fancy a game of Strike?
Looking sharp as ever. You know of her, or you actually know
Even the savior of Meridian needs a challenge. Play some Strike.
Oi, miss. Drink last night? Whoa! Got somewhere to be. Sorry.
It's a Tanakh game, but any tribe can enjoy it.
Contents of the vat he fell into. Oh, milled up. You.
To the claim!
Fire and spit.
Had enough of the wilds. Why not sit down for a game of strike?
You! I know you see me!
No one wants to play strike. No? Anyone? Even the savior of Meridian needs a challenge. Play some strike.
That's who I kiss for a mug of ale here. I'll take some ale.
Hey, Ray. Fancy a game of strike?
Waiter! Waiter! Yeah, told you that. Oh, hey, I just remembered. I don't care. Boy, slag!
Had enough of the wilds? Why not sit down for a game of strike?
To the claim!
It's a Tanakh game, but any tribe can enjoy it.
About the other day. I know you and him don't get on, but... Ah, finally!
Yeah. Got work to do.
Oh there, brother!
A bad time. That smells good!
No one wants to play strike. No? Anyone?
To the claim!
For the brewmaster.
You've got a face like a thundercloud.
It's a Tanakh game, but any tribe can enjoy it.
You! I know you see me!
What?
No one wants to play strike. No? Anyone?
That's who I kiss for a mug of ale here. Here you go.
Hey, Ray. Fancy a game of strike?
Empty!
Even the savior of Meridian needs a challenge. Play some strike.
Whose ass do I kiss for a mug of ale here?
Had enough of the wilds? Why not sit down for a game of strike?
To the flame!
No one wants to play strike. No? Anyone?
How goes it, Hammerhead? Oh, hi.
Had enough of the wilds? Why not sit down for a game of strike?
You! I know you see me!
Eyes up here, sister!
Bet you 50 sharks they get eaten by the nut.
Even the savior of Meridian needs a challenge. Play some strike.
The nut drove the Red Raven out with half our numbers. Now that tells you something. You really think they'll put up with all that carja talk?
To the flame!
I'm telling you, I saw it scoop up a whole bunch of machines.
Hey, Ray. Fancy a game of strike?
That's right. Thought it was gonna get me too.
Hey, that's my sister!
Fine. 50 shards says the fella falls first.
It's a Tanakh game, but any tribe can enjoy it.
Hey, if I wanted to hear my mother talk.
Oh, Milda! Yoo-hoo!
Hey, Ray. Fancy a game of strike? Oh, you want to play, Ray? I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's... This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power. As you know, when fighting an opponent's machine, you compare its combat power to yours. The higher your machine's combat power, the more damage you can do. So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy for overpowering your opponent. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machines. Now let's take a look. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value of the terrain it's standing on. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point. Add those together, and your machine has 3 points of combat power. My machine is standing on grassland terrain with a value of 0 points. It's also not attacking, so my combat power, this means, go ahead and test. There you go. Now, it can also help defend. Grab your other piece and place it. Since it's standing on grassland terrain, this terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat. My machine can't use their attack powers since they're but they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it, which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see what happens. Ha, see? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage as well. That's why breaking a machine's defenses is a great way to deal damage to several people. Useful, right? There's still one more thing I want to show you. All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are 2 other terrains that work a little differently. This is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left. See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemy. Well, I think that promise it all. Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number, and you can spend up to 10. Knowing what each machine, building an army that is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time. With that in mind, most players would choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack power they have. But a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponent. In other words, if you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first. We've seen this plenty of so. Just great. Now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we... Let's go. This is a ram-type machine. Attack an enemy with it, and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash-type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it. You should also make, otherwise, here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely... If you look at your notes, you'll notice there's quite a few of... But I'm pretty sure it's got all... I think that about does... Don't be a stranger.